So you guys are able to see my screen, right?
Yeah, Gopi.
Yeah, so before start today, let me give you an overview like what exactly we discussed yesterday. So we have seen how to build our own customized rule sets, and once you go to the customized rule set, so what are the components we want? We will simply update it with our as per our requirement or whatever maybe, and then we will use that rule set. We will provision it all first of all, and then we will use that rule set in job. So yesterday we have seen only the customized rule sets, how to build that, how to update the dictionary file, classification file, and pattern action file if need, how to update the reference files and all those things. So that's what we discussed yesterday. So today we are going to discuss about the standardization quality assessment. And once we are done with this one, then we will jump into the match. Okay, one moment. Is it fine now?
Yeah, Gopi. Now it's fine.
Okay. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the standardization quality assessment. So this one is like, once you are done with your standardization, you need to share the results with your business. So I'm not talking about the report which you are generating from um, uh, the standardization. So apart from that, like in each attribute, um, basically the business needs how many records we are sending, out of how many records, what percentage of data is getting standardized and what percentage of data is not getting standardized. So all these things they need in a kind of report basically. So basically, they need a kind of charts, which can tell us, the percentages of standardized data, not standardized data, and with some kind of examples, so that they can easily understand it. So for that, we have one component in quality stage palette that we call it as a SQA. So SQA, you can see here what is SQA, standardization quality assessment. So after the standardization, whatever the data you are getting, so that data you will pass through the SQA stage, and then you will generate the report. Report in the sense the file. Let me show you the job. Whatever the job we discussed, we used for the standardization. So the same job I'm using it here. After the standardization stage, I have placed one copy stage. I'm just passing the data to the SQA stage here. So, but one thing what I have done, we have one option, SQA option, in the standardization stage properties. You can see SQL report output true. Once you set this one, earlier this one is false, so now I set it up as true for this job. So now if you go here at the end, it will add one extra column, this one, SQA, whatever we selected. So based upon that, it will add one extra column for the US address, and then the same output, we are passing to the copy stage, and we are passing the whole data, one copy to this sequential file stage, another copy I'm taking to the SQA report. Okay, so in this SQA report there is nothing to select. The only one thing is, uh, on what column you want to generate the report. So basically the SQA report is, it is not like, if you apply your rule sets on five columns, like one column, say, US address rule set, US name rule set, like that. If you address five rule sets, the SQA report is not for selecting all the to generate the report on all five columns, right? Kind of thing. So at a time you can generate your report on one single column. So they need the column wise, right? Basically they can understand how much data is getting standardized, particularly in this column kind of thing. So basically, the SQL report in the SQL report, we cannot generate the report on more than one attribute. So it is always one attribute. So on whatever the attribute you want to generate the report, basically, if I want to generate the report on address, if you want to generate the report on name, so each and every attribute you need to select it here basically. So here I have selected the columns. Here you can see the list of columns which I am passing as an input. So you can see all these columns. So on whatever the name you want, you can simply select that name. Okay, so in the output report, you just give, these are the standard columns which will get generated by the SQS stage. These are like, once you open the data, you cannot easily understand like, what exactly it is doing. But if you look at here, they're calculating the percentages, they're calculating the count, they're calculating the values, like how they are doing in the investigate stage in a similar fashion. In the investigate stage, they will identify the count, they're identifying the frequency, how many records you are getting, right? In a similar fashion, this is a kind of input file for the SQL report. So these are the columns it will add, and once you're done with this one, so once you store this file in some location or whatever it may be, then you can go to the one moment, information analyzer. So this is the information analyzer icon. So you have to go to this one, all kind of reports, whether it is a data stage report or quality stage report or information analyzer report or whatever it may be the report, the only source is here in the information analyzer only. We will generate the all type of reports. So whatever the report currently you are seeing it here, this is also get generated from the IA only. So now I'm going to show you the path where exactly we need to create, and there like, you just select a new report, and you will give the input file which we generated just now in our job by using the SQL. So whatever the file I've created here, right? So the path I'm going to select from the information analyzer. So once I select the path, so it will read that particular file, and it will generate the like, the SQL report which you are seeing it here in the PDF. So there is nothing, all the pre-existed options only. You just need to browse it. Once you select the new report, you just need to browse it where the file is presented, input file is presented. So once you select that, it will ask you whether you want to generate in the PDF format or RTF format or HTML format, or if you want, you can send this report through like as an attachment in the email kind of thing. So all those three or four options it will provide. So whatever the options you are selecting, once you select that and once you click on finish, automatically it will generate this report, this type of report. Okay, so select the project. Once I select the project, if you go here in the home, we have one tab, reports. You just need to go here, reports. See, these are the types of reports we can generate in the information analyzer. So quality stage reports and information analyzer reports. If you have any in from data stage, like, if you want to generate any kind of report, like, from the file which we created in the data stage. So business glossary, this is one kind of component we have in IBM InfoSpace suite. So fast track is also one of the component we have available. So we have it in the InfoSpace suite. So whatever the report that is, that doesn't matter. If you want to generate any kind of report, you just need to come to the information analyzer and you need to select it. So for here, I'm planning to generate the quality stage report. So once you click on this quality stage report, right hand side you are seeing the new report, right? So once all the proper configurations are done, so the only thing is once you select the quality stage, and you can simply see the new report. So once you click on the new report, as the whatever the properties I just told you, like, it will ask you the path of the file where exactly the file was presented, and then the type of file which you want to generate, like, either it is a PDF or rich text format or HTML, or like, if you want to send as an attachment in the email. So whatever the format, in whatever the format you want, you can simply select that, and once you click on finish, so once you select PDF and once you click on finish, in the screen itself it will show you this kind of PDF, exactly the PDF. The only thing is whatever the rule set or whatever the column name you are selecting, those will get changed accordingly. Like your report will um, update. So here, what I will just go through this SQL report. You just see that, and this is the standard format. Whatever the attribute which you are selecting, that doesn't matter. Whatever the standard format, whatever the attribute you selected, accordingly it will try to update this document. But the format is going to be remain same. So here you're saying, right, the total 100% fully standardized records or partially non-standardized records. You're seeing it here. So it will divide the data first of all, like out of 100 records. For example, if you're sending 100 records, 60 records are getting standardized and 40 records are not getting standardized. Then you can see 60-40 ratio here. Okay, and then so here you're seeing, right. I have selected the US address column. So here you can see house number. All the dictionary field. For example, I'm generating this report for the address, right? So whatever the dictionary field columns we have in the address component, so it is showing house numbers. So kind of percentages, how much percentage we are getting the house numbers, and how many how much percentage we are getting house number suffixes. Street prefix directional is 0% I'm getting in my input data. So it's simply calculating each and every um, dictionary field column percentage, how much data is we are getting from our input data is getting standardized. So once your data is getting standardized, your data will get assigned to these dictionary field columns only, right? So accordingly they are calculating how many records are getting standardized. And here you are seeing the total percentage, you are seeing it here. So this is a kind of report which those guys are generating through the SQL report. So from our end, what we need to do is we simply need to select that as we need to create a file by using the SQL stage we have, right? So after the standardization stage, you just need to put this SQL stage. You just need to pass your input data set through the SQL stage, and it will generate standard 5 or 6 or around 8 columns, stage generated columns, and you just come back to the information analyzer. So here you need to select your new report, and once you select the new report, it will ask you the properties. It will display another window. It will ask you the properties, like where is the part of the file and the type of report you want. So once you just finish it, automatically you will see this type of report. Okay, so in the similar fashion, Vinay, what they are saying is here, if you go here, go
Yeah,
to the
here.
data quality
Uh,
area. Once you go to
yes,
the data
come to.
quality, and here we right now for me it is all in disable mode, right? So for you, I think these options should be in enabled state. So what they are saying is
Okay,
published
can you
to
click
all.
on the no publish first? We need to create as a rule set. So I think come to the as the next to developer. Develop next to develop column. One more is there. Next
No,
one, next one.
this is not the
Here only will be there.
no.
No, after the develop, one more is there. What is there here? Yeah, yeah. Next one,
No,
next one.
the whole tab is develop. You are talking about this one. You're saying
Yes, 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 yes. There, okay. There we can schedule.
no. This one is
So,
different. Here only you need to see in the data
okay.
quality. All is nothing but here you are going to generate all the rules. Once you publish it, those rules will come to the publish rules. So what they are saying is here you need to select this. Here you are seeing that data rule or rule sets, the option.
Hmm.
So here only they are saying we need to select or we need to generate all the reports.
Yeah, actually problem is there. Uh, I go to the rule set. I was trying to create and sometime it is created, but I'm not able to publish and I'm not able to see. I have run the some analysis on one table,
Okay.
but that analysis I want to run through that rule set. I want to is apply that rule set on that table. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how I will do this one.
Mm-hmm.
So in Google, everything I have, so there is no document for related to this one.
Okay. So for now, at least like these options are enabled or not for you in
Yeah, it's enable for me because see, I was also facing the issue. So I have did is web spare and infospare both I have restarted.
mm,
So then after that it will come that test both. I think you need to restart the web spare server also.
okay.
And for this report we can run by as admin console also.
Yeah, first of all, if you want to run it, first of all, you need to build it, right? So all the building
Yes, yes.
part is in the development only, right? So once you build it,
Hmm.
definitely
Correct.
you can able to run like whatever the place you want. So what they are saying is for me like here only we need to build the rules. So whatever the groups you want, you can build it, and then like you can use these rules. Either if you want, you can use it in your data rule stage, or else if you want, you can directly apply them into your input file or sorry input uh, like an analysis for your analysis. That is what they are saying. But they are saying this you already tried it, right? So let me
Yeah.
ask them then like to create a kind of small document so that that will be helpful for you to do your analysis or whatever it may be.
Okay, if you want, so I can share my screen. Not now is actually I need to take the TeamViewer access from the my office laptop.
Hmm.
Then I can show you what exact problem is there, and this all are enable option. So you can show there's a report also if you want.
Sure.
So
After this call, we'll see or
yeah, yeah, after this session, I can
sure, no problem.
or otherwise I can do it tomorrow also if you find like is it tomorrow already I have set up all these things. So it will not take more much time.
No problem. Tomorrow, then we can see,
Okay,
and then we can
okay,
see
okay,
the document directly from here itself how we can generate it.
okay. That will be good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So so you just need to know the process how we need to generate the report here, and I just showed you like we have to go to the quality stage and then you need to select the new report and the options you need to select it there. So once you're done with this, the report will remain in the same fashion. Like if you are creating for US address or if you are creating US name or that doesn't matter. So once you select this one, automatically like it will create this report and it will give all the information like the total percentage of like how much data is getting standardized and not getting standardized. And as per the dictionary field columns, if once your data is standardized, basically that data will get assigned to the dictionary field columns through the pattern action file, right? So they will display each and every column how much data is getting or like the percentages and all those things. Okay,
Copy, can you open the SQS stage?
sure. This one
Yeah, this one. Can you click on the option?
option
Yeah, above this one. No, no, not there. It's option video.
option
There is
oh
after the
sorry
proper below the yes, yes, yes. Okay, just I want to see other option is available. Only just
no
we have the one option is unhandled. It is come the by default is
by
unhandled data
default
column. Okay.
one option only, but you have to select on what column you want to do or on what column you want this report.
Okay. So this report we can is send it into the data set also. Yeah, we need to send it the sequencer file also, and then sequencer files we
Whatever
are
it may be.
taking to.
No, whatever it may be. You just need to select the path and you need to select the file. So that file doesn't matter whether it is in a
Okay,
database.
if we'll do it in dataset also, so that dataset also we can read in the information analyzer report, correct?
Yeah,
That we need to give
basically
to
you
path.
just need to give the path. So it will do
Path.
some
Okay.
kind of these things at the back end and then it will generate the report.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is how the SQL report looks like, and the way which how we need to generate the report that I have showed it to you the way how we can generate the report. So once like as when I is saying like once we set up all those set up the configurations, then what we can do is if you want to tomorrow we can come back to this one and I can generate the report directly from the information analyzer. and then I will show you the report, how it looks like and how we can generate the report and all those things. Okay, so this SQL report is only like to share these reports to your business, along with like you can share these reports also, this the standardization output, but in that there might be have a number of columns and like they cannot able to easily understand it. So the only thing is always they will prefer a kind of graphical presentation or whatever it may be, right? So that they can easily understand the charts. So if you present this in in the form of charts, they can easily understand um, like the how the data is getting standardized and how much percentage kind of thing. So that is the only purpose to of this SQL report here. Okay, so as I told you, like once if that is working like to generate the reports as when I saying, then I can show you the whole process how we can generate the report and all those things.
Tomorrow I will create a one job and then I will try to get is share this is like as a file how it will generate. So it will be easy. It will not take more much time to for.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Vinay. So today, so we are done with the SQA report. So then we are going to jump into the match now. So before going to discuss about the match stage, so I just wanted to give you an overview what exactly we have discussed till now from starting. So we have seen the investigate stage and the types of reports we can generate by using the investigate stage, and we discussed about each and every report importance. Once we are done with the investigate stage, we discussed about the quality stage rule set execution flow, which component will get execute first and then which component. So the basically the flow chart kind of thing. So for the quality set execution, so that doesn't matter what type of rule set you are executing. So each and every rule set will follow the same flow chart which we have discussed in the execution flow. And then we discussed about the standardization rule sets, the existed standardization rule set which are coming from IBM. So we discussed one or two. So in the similar fashion, all other rule sets will go. So we discussed about what is the classification file, the syntax of the classification file, how to specify the dictionary files, what are all dictionary, what is the dictionary file first of all, and so what type of what is the syntax or to define the dictionary file, and we have seen the pattern action file, we have seen the overrides, and we have seen the reference tables. So after that we have discussed about the customized tool sets, how we can build our own customized tool sets, and what are all components we need to update it. So that we have seen, and then today we have seen the SQA report. So till now we have done the investigation, we have done the standardization, but we never done the kind of duplication, removing the duplicates or identifying the duplicates, that we haven't done. But there might be chance. See, today you are receiving a file with 1 lakh records. There might be chance to have the duplicates in the same file itself. That is one scenario which we need to handle. And the second scenario is these 1 lakh records you are getting in, but you need to compare this 1 lakh records with already existed data. In that case, there might be a chance to get some kind of duplicates or kind of thing, right? So that in the second scenario also there might be chance to get some kind of duplicates. So these two scenarios we need to handle it. So basically in the quality stage, to identify the duplicates, I'm saying only just to identify the duplicates, not to remove. Just to identify the duplicates, we have the matching. So matching algorithms, we are going to use it. By using the matching algorithms, we are just going to identify what are all duplicate records coming in the same file, or when you are comparing this input file against the another file, you are just trying to identify the duplicate records. And once you identify the duplicate records, the survivorship is a different thing merge merge the records, or to identify the best record out of these 4 records or 5 records. That is the next process. So till now we just done some kind of investigation, we identified the proper standardization rules, or whenever we need, we are simply update those standardization rules. Once you are done with the investigation, you have done the standardization just to do the standardization of your data. You never identified is there any kind of duplicates are coming in kind of thing. So in the after the standardization report, standardization, whatever the report we generated by the standardization stage, usually we will pass the standardization data to the match stage. In match stage, I'm going to identify the duplicates. So again, in match stage, we have two different types. As I told you, one is like to identify the duplicates coming in the same input file, and the second scenario is when you are doing comparison, like the input data with the already pre-existed data or whatever it may be. With that, there might be chance to get the duplicates. So in these two scenarios, I need to identify the duplicates. So for that, we have two different components available here in the quality stage. The first component is one moment, this one, and the second thing is reference match. See, this unduplicate match is nothing but the first scenario which I'm explaining. So if you want to identify duplicates coming in the same source file, so this is what the uh, component which we are going to use to identify the duplicates coming in the same source file. So here we don't have any options to do a kind of reference check. So this is just to identify the duplicates which are coming in the same source file. But the second scenario which I'm explaining, right, when you're getting some kind of input file, you just need to do a kind of reference check with the existed data. So in that case, we will go with the reference match. Okay. So this stage, the first stage, this will take two input files. This file will take four. This component will take four input files. But I think while discussing about the match frequency stage, we discussed about these two stages also. So it is expecting, or it will take two files as an input. One file is data file. That means whatever the 1,000 records you are getting in, and once you've done your standardization, so the standardization output will act as an input for this particular unduplicate match stage. But I'm saying this unduplicate match stage will expect two input link, or two input files, right? So one is like the standardization output file. The second file is the frequency file for that particular standardization report, right? Match frequency, by using the match frequency, I think day before yesterday we have seen match frequency. So match frequency is nothing but it will just generate a frequency file, a kind of input file for this match stages. So I'm saying this one is like to identify the duplicates coming in the same source file, right? So one input link, one frequency link, frequency file link. So that frequency file link, by using the match frequency stage, we will generate that match frequency file. That file we will use as an input for this stage. So two input links, one is data link and second one is the frequency file link. And this one, as I told you, this one is dealing with the two different data sets. One is input data set and second one is the reference data set. That means the data which is already presented in the database. So two data links it will take it, and it will take two frequency file links respectively. One is for the data link and second one is the reference link. So one data frequency file, one reference frequency file, total four input links or four input data sets it will take. Okay. So first of all, we will discuss about the unduplicate match stage. So unduplicate match stage is nothing but, as I told you, we will just use this option or this component to identify the duplicate records which are coming in the input source file. And then we will look into the reference, how we can do the reference check, or how we can compare the input data with the reference data set and to identify the duplicate records and all these things. So first we will start with the unduplicate match. And again, if you open this unduplicate match stage, so it is asking you a kind of match specification, right? So in the similar fashion, so we discussed about the investigate stage, we discussed about the standardization stage. So even if you open the investigate stage, it will ask you a kind of rule set in the investigate stage. Or else if you look at the standardization stage properties, the similar type of browse button you can see in the standardization stage also, to select what type of rule set you want to um, apply basically the standardization stage, whatever you are seeing here, this is also a kind of placeholder to call your quality stage rule sets. So basically the quality stage, this component won't do any kind of standardization on your input data. Basically whatever the rule set you are calling inside this standardization component, that rule set is doing the actual standardization and all those things. So this component, whatever you are seeing, this is just a kind of placeholder where we can call your quality stage rule sets. In the similar fashion, in the unduplicate match stage and reference match stage, these are the just a kind of placeholders where we can call match specification. Here we will call it as a match specification. So this is a kind of placeholder. So you just need to browse it and you need to select what kind of match specification you want to apply on your input data. So for that, the basic thing is we need to, first of all, once if you want to use this component, first of all you need to build your match specification first of all, because the input for this unduplicate match stage is match specification. So first of all you have to define your match specification, and then you have to come back here and you have to select that match specification on your input data. Okay, so the primary thing is, first of all we need to discuss about the match specifications, and then once we are done with our match specification, then we can use this component or this component to identify the duplicates which are coming in our input file or source reference file kind of thing. Okay, so first we are going to discuss about the match specification. So that is what, once we are done with the match specification, we can use that match specification either here, like in any one of the component. And one more thing, while we are discussing about the frequency file, I told you this frequency file which I am generating is a default frequency file. It will contains for each and every column name, it will generate QSC underscore, QSN underscore, QSM underscore kind of thing. I think you guys are remember. So while we're discussing about the frequency file, I told you. So if you want, you can restrict what type of comparison you want for each and every um, column. So that is also again depends upon your match specification. If you want, let me open this one. In the match frequency file, while we're discussing, as I'm saying, I'm not selecting any kind of match specification, right? So that is the reason why it is generating the default frequency file. In the default frequency file, for each and every column, it will generate three sets of columns. One is QSC underscore name, QS n underscore name, QS m underscore name, kind of thing. So if you want to restrict, as I told you in that while we're discussing about the frequency file, you need to select the match specification. So this match specification again is nothing but whatever the match specification you are going to use here in this match specification. So once you define the match specification, you know what type of comparison you are going to do for name field, whatever the comparison you are going to do for the address field or whatever it may be. Once you are done with that, all the specifications you will specify in the match specification, and then we will use that match specification in both the places, while you are generating the frequency file and while you are doing the while you are identifying the duplicates which are coming in the source file. So in both the places you can use the same match specification. So once you use the match specification while you are generating the frequency file, instead of generating the default frequency file, what it will do is whatever the specifications you mentioned inside the match specification, so based upon that only it will generate um, the frequency file. So then at least we can avoid the duplicacy, like creating three different categories for each and every column, QSC, QSN, QSM. So we can just restrict either to one, QSC or QSN or QSM kind of thing. That again depends upon your match specification. So first we will discuss about the match specification, and once you have idea about the match specification, then we will use in the match frequency file, and the same match specification we will use in this unduplicate match stage, and then we will compare it how the reports looks like. Okay, so let me show you like how we can create the match specifications. So this folder I have created myself in the match specifications. You can go to the new, you can go to the data quality, So we have seen how we can create the rule sets yesterday, the customized rule sets. So now we are looking into the match specification. So once I select this match specification, this is how your match specification window looks like. Okay. So first of all, as I told you, we have two different types of specifications. One is like an unduplicate match, and second one is the reference match. Basically, reference, if you want to compare your input data against some reference data, and the duplicate is nothing but just to identify the duplicates which are coming in the same source file. So here you are seeing, right, reference, 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 reference. So four different types of match specifications we have for the reference. The reference in the sense when you are trying to compare your input data with some kind of reference data. Reference data is nothing but which is already presented in your database or whatever it may be. This unduplicate dependent, unduplicate independent, unduplicate transitive, whatever you are seeing here, this is a kind of these three types we will use just to identify the duplicates which are coming in the same source file. Okay, so now I'm selecting unduplicate dependent. So earlier you are seeing two data input links, right? So now when I select unduplicate dependent, it is expecting only one data input link. Now if you want, I can go to the reference. You can see two. One is data input link and second one is the reference. Right? You are getting the difference, right? The difference between the two things. When I select this one, it is expecting only one data link. But frequency file is optional. So if you are passing one data input link, then you have to pass the corresponding frequency file for that. So if it is expecting two data input links, then two frequency files you need to pass as an input. Okay. So here you're just going to update your metadata. For example, in my scenario, I just build one standardization job, right? So that file I'm going to use as an input for this match stage. Then what I have to do is the data stage data set, whatever the data set I have created, the data set information, metadata, I have to upload it here. So I have to save that report or the metadata of that particular file into my repository. Then I can select that particular file here. So once I select this one, whatever the columns we have here, those columns will get those columns available here. So I will tell you what is blocking column, what is the match commands, and what is the cutoff value. So each and everything I'm going to explain it. These are the very, very important. So you should know about the mechanism or you should know about the functionality, how exactly these are working. So I will tell you on I will not go to in depth. I will just give you an overview, whatever the options you are seeing it here. What is the importance of each and every option? I will just explain it to you. And tomorrow I will take the example and I will explain you all those things. For now, the pass is nothing but here only you are going to specify your match specification. Once you click on this, these three different types of categories you are seeing, right? Blocking columns, match commands, and cutoff values. These three columns you are getting, right? So first of all, let me tell you what is the importance of the blocking column, and then what is the importance of the match commands, and then what is the importance of the cutoff values. All those things we'll see. So first of all, I'm trying to explain whatever the options you are seeing on this window. I'm just trying to explain it first of all. And then we will see in depth, we will take the example and we will see how the match is working and all those. For now, once you open this match window, you are seeing these two. Here, I already explained what type of match types you want. So if you want, if you are going to identify the duplicates which are coming in your source file, then you have to select either one of these three, unduplicate transitive or unduplicate independent or unduplicate dependent. When if you are trying to identify the duplicates against some reference data, then you have to select any one which is available here. So for now, I'm just, even if you select this one also, the properties window won't get change anything here. Those will remain same. So that is the reason why I'm just going to the unduplicate dependent, and you are clear about this one, right? How many inputs you want, and that is again depends upon what type of match type you are selecting it here. Okay. And then my pass is nothing but once you click on my pass, these are the three categories. You just need to define it. If you want, you can add another pass. If you want, you can add another pass. So you can add many passes here. So I will tell you later on, like, what is the pass. So what is the pass one, pass two, those things we will see it later. First of all, in each and every pass you need to define these three different types of options. Blocking column you need to define, match comments you need to define, cutoff values you need to define. First of all, we will discuss what is blocking column and what is match commands and what is cutoff values. And later on, we'll see what command, what columns we can use for blocking, what columns we can use for match commands and all those things. So for now, I'm just explaining what is blocking columns and what is match commands and what is your cutoff values. Okay, let's take, I have one input file which contains 10, 100 millions of data. Okay, so I'm just passing this file as an input to this one. So if I don't specify any kind of blocking column, okay, so okay, first I will explain you the match commands, then I will discuss about the blocking column so that you guys can get clear picture. Now I want to identify the matched records or duplicate records which are coming in inside this 100 millions of data. So for that, if I specify match commands is nothing but on what columns you want to identify the duplicates. For example, first name and last name are same. Then I want to treat those records as a duplicate records. Let's assume that. So I'm just coming here. I'm just specifying the first name and last name in the match commands. Basically, I want to identify the duplicates which are coming in my 100 millions of data. So for whatever the records, the first name and last name is same, then I want to consider them as a matched record. So if I just come here, if I click on add, if I add first name and last name, right now I didn't uploaded any kind of metadata, so that is the reason we are not seeing any columns list. So once you upload any metadata, you can see all the columns list. Here from here you can select first name and last name. Okay, let's assume I have I have given the input, and here I have selected the first name and last name as my match um, algorithm. So then it will take the first record and it will identify the first name and last name inside that particular record. And then it will put that as a kind of a master record, and it will take the second record, and it will take the second record and it will compare what is the first name and last name. Or else how it will work is, first of all it will take the first record first name and last name, and it will identify the remaining whole set of data to identify the matched records which contains the same first name and last name. That means for each and every match, like, to identify each and every match, it has to go through the whole 100 millions of records to identify the duplicates. Okay, uh, first name, last name, this is my match criteria. If I specify first name and last name, so it will take the first record and it will check whatever the first name and last name I have in that particular record, and it will check the remaining whole set of data, around 100 millions of data, to identify the matched records. Once it is identified, it will form as one group, and it will take the second record, and whatever the first name and last name I have, it will do the check in the whole, like in the 100 millions of records set, and to identify what are all matched records which are coming in the first name and last name whatever we have in the second record, and it will take the third record and first name and last name, and it will check the whole 100 millions of data kind of thing. So here one disadvantage is, just to identify the matches, it is doing the check against the entire set, 100 millions of set. Then obviously it will take time, right? Because for each and every record it is doing the whole set scanning to identify the duplicate records. Clear this one, up to this one, this point? If you have any query, ask me right away, because this is very important concept. You should know, once you should know how this is functioning, then only you can identify whatever the blocking columns match comments you want. If you guys have any queries, you just directly ask me. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to understand at later point of time. Okay.
Gopi, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
See, I don't know you're taking an example like as the first name and last name,
Mm-hmm.
but I think we should take the address also because in one file we have the so many, those are having the same name.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are going to without address,
Mm-hmm.
so it may be deleted the some, it may be removed as a some. Those are the valid as see for one name we can find the many is for C, for is for Vinay,
Mm-hmm.
Vinay Sharma. So many guy will be there. So I think we should take the address also. If we take the address also, then we can identify it as duplicate or not.
See, one thing is, even if you take the address, okay, there might be chance to have the similar type of names in the same address. For example, you are a kind of what I can say, the customer. So whatever the location you are specifying, the address information might be in the same address information. You can get the first name and last names, more than once, right? So for example, if you specify any Hyderabad location or Pechpoli location or whatever it may be, or specifically the mind space or something like that, inside that also there might be a chance to get more than one, right? Even if you add the address also, even if you add the address also, there might be a chance to get the more than one. You cannot always depend. See, for example, today you have you are working in Mindspace. Tomorrow you are working in some other. So if I add what I can say, the address, then you have two entries. But I'm considering two entries is a two different records altogether, right?
But there are very less chance. But if we'll take the without address, it is a more chance to will be removing to this different person.
See, in real time world, you will not use the address at many times because address is they will not at all consider as your match columns or whatever it may be, because there might be chance to change the address very frequently. That is again depends upon on what domain you are working again. So there might be chance usually they will not use the addresses. So they, if they want, they can use the states information or identifiers. Basically, they will use the identifiers, right?
like social number, like social number, like social security number.
Yeah. So
Okay.
one more thing is, first of all, you
Gopi, here
yeah,
I have a doubt.
yeah.
Like, it is checking like combination or like if the suppose first name is Gopi,
Mm-hmm,
second name is last name is Krishna.
mm-hmm,
So second record as a first name as a Gopi,
mm-hmm,
last name as a Gopal.
mm-hmm.
So
No,
it is
the
going checking combination. Okay.
Wherever
Okay.
you have the first name and last name is matched, then it will consider them
Okay.
as the matched records.
So Gopi Krishna and Gopi Gopal is a different record.
Different,
So
different.
okay, if it is like taking the only first name also, it has the two first names, like same
Yeah,
first name, but
yeah,
the last name also different. So it
yeah.
is taking the first name or a combination.
Combination. But again, there are some kind
Hmm.
of rules, match rules we have, algorithms, like
Okay,
Soundex algorithms. There are n different
okay,
of algorithms. Based upon that, again, it will decide whether these two records are matched or not matched. So basically, if you just compare first name, last name, like how we are saying, if I just consider without any kind of matching algorithm, then I can definitely say these two are the different records. But if I apply any kind of matching algorithms is nothing but up to 85% is matching or 80% is matching, then I can consider them as a matched records. That is an advanced topic that we will discuss later. First of all, you just try to understand what is blocking, what is match, and what is cutoff. And then we will see with the examples how this is working and all those things. Okay. And coming to
Uh,
you, yes, Radha, ask me.
yeah, Gopi, I have one question. Say, for example, we had a one record, and the name is, say, for example, Gopi Krishnan.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have a next record, and we found the similar records. Say, for example, 85% is matching, only spelling mistake.
Yeah.
So, will these records would be put in a group somewhere inside,
Yeah.
and then later on in the survivor stage, we would
Right.
compare the duplicates? Okay. Yeah. So whatever the match records are found, they will be kept in a same group
Yeah, it
somewhere
will give you,
inside, right?
yeah, it will give you some
Okay.
identification. what are all records are
Okay.
falling under one single group. So that group we are
Okay.
going to use in the survivorship to identify the best record out of these 4 records or 5 matched records or whatever.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
got it.
Yeah. So coming to you, Vinay.
So Gopi,
So
so you mean to say like Gopi Krishna and Gopi Krishnan is both are like it's a kind of 80%, 85% of match.
yeah,
So these two records is going to putting together.
yeah, one group.
Okay,
It will consider as a
okay,
one group. Group in the sense all matched records will fall under one group.
okay, so,
Okay,
okay.
these 2 records will fall under one group, and if we have another combination, then those 2 records will fall under one group. So basically, from each group, we are going to apply the survivorship to identify the best record. That is the whole
Okay,
flow.
thank you.
Okay. So Vinay, you are saying right. So let's take this scenario. You are getting the input from the multiple sources. Okay.
Okay.
So the record which you are getting, for example, your record, Vinay, whatever the record you are saying, so that record is coming from source 1, source 3, and source 6 also. There might be chance because, like, the sources, like, we cannot say 100% we will get the unique kind of records. If we have multiple sources, there might be chance to get the data from the multiple sources, right? So the same record, whatever the record you are getting, that record there might be chance to come from source one, and there might be there might be chance to come from source 8, source 9 also. Okay, so this is one kind of domain I'm saying. That is again I'm saying that is the reason I'm saying it will depends upon the domain also. For example, if you consider like healthcare domain or some other banking domain kind of thing, so they will get the information from multiple source systems. So there might be chance to get some customer information from the more than one source system also. Okay, so
Okay.
in that cases, for example, if you are getting 3 sources and if you are trying to directly dump it, then you can see the duplicate records out of it, right? So then what you have to do is you need to club them and you need to identify the duplicates which are coming in first of all. And then once you are done with the identification of the duplicates which are coming in from the same source, then you can compare the input data with the reference data and then you can get it. Okay.
Okay,
So,
so just like once we are checking the duplicates,
mhm.
so we need to consider as some other column like as a PAN card number, so we can identify that the same person as other person if we are moving to the different person also. See, in the as a retail store, so in retail they will visit the different as same person will be means is a one
Yeah.
person will be like as a name Gopi Krishna, some other person will be having the Gopi Krishna. So
Mhm.
how we identify we are removing data as both are the same as a uh, same identification number we are going to remove. Some column like those are having the as a primary. So on that basis we need to identify or we need to check somewhere in lookups that is a different person as the same person.
Mm.
Might be chances we are going to other
So
we are
let's
we
take the same example whatever you explained. You are saying multiple retail stores, right? So for
yeah.
one retail store we have in what I can say Amirpet, and another thing is in some Gachibowli kind of thing, right? So the same customer visited in 3 different things at the end. So they will send the data, right? Like the customers who are all visited. Let's assume that I'm saying. So you will get the same record, like in the same customer record from the Amirpet branch. Like they will prepare one kind of file and they will share with you. And from Gachibowli branch, you are saying like they will generate some kind of file with all the customers and they will send you the file, right? At the end, if you club them, what you will see the customer information you can see, right? The same customer information you are seeing in 2 different places, in 2 different files, right?
Okay, but maybe chances same
Mm-hmm.
person name will be
Mm-hmm.
visit to the same store.
Yeah,
Now you are telling is the same person will be visit the three different store. Okay,
yeah.
so this is a duplicate.
Mm-hmm.
If in the same store
Mm-hmm.
visited the same name, two person will be visited.
Mm-hmm.
So that record also we can lose.
That is what I'm saying. Here, for example purpose, I'm saying first name and last name. That is again
Okay,
depends
okay,
upon on your business. They will tell you what are the columns you have to use as a match. Just for
okay,
example purpose, I'm saying don't consider only always we will use the first name and last name. Okay.
okay, okay,
So this information also, provided by you for your BS, like who is doing the analysis and your business. They have to decide what type of columns you have to use for your matching. For your example purpose, just to understand what is blocking, what is matching, what is cutoff, I'm just giving an example. Just consider first name and last name. Okay.
Okay, Gopal, got it.
Yeah. Okay. So uh, we left it somewhere. Yes. Okay. We are discussing about the blocking. Matching. So let's assume I have 100 millions of records. So if I just want to identify the duplicates which are coming in, so for each and every record which is coming in, so it will take the first name and last name, and it will check the total 100 millions of records where exactly it is finding the matching kind of thing. So in that case, what is happening is, for each and every input record, it has to be scanned for the whole. It has to scan the 100 millions of set to identify the duplicate or matched records out of it. Then what is happening is 100 millions of records for each and every record, it is doing the total scanning. So it will take a lot of time. Usually the match will take a lot of time when you compare with other stages. So even for 8 lakhs or 9 lakhs or some around 60 lakhs or 70 lakhs of records, it will take around 5 hours or 6 hours. That is again depends upon how much configuration you have it. So usually the match will take time. Just compare that, for each and every record, it is doing the comparison of the whole 100 millions of data. So usually it will take time. So to avoid that, for each and every record, it is doing the total 100 millions of record scanning, right? Just to avoid that. So if you don't specify blocking and if you specify the match, I am saying, okay, if you just specify the matching, if you don't specify the blocking, then this is what the functionality will happen. For each and every record, the whole 100 millions of record set will get scanned to identify the matched records. Now let's assume out of this 100 millions, along with the first name and last name, I have the address components and I have the phone numbers, I have the email IDs also. So in address component, I have the state information also. Let's assume that. So out of this 100 millions, let's assume I have 10 unique states. I'm saying, okay, this 100 millions of data I'm getting, but state unique states. I have only 10 unique states. Then if I come to here, so if I don't specify the blocking, the mechanism is for each and every record, it will check the total 100 millions of set. Now I'm going to specify the blocking on state field. Then let's see about the functionality now. So blocking I have selected on the state field. Then what will happen is this 100 millions of records, once you specify the blocking, whatever the blocking column you are selecting, here it is a state. So unique states information, that means, for example, we have one state as AP. So all AP related records, it will form as one block, and all TS related records, it will form as one block, and all other states information like how we have, right? So 10 blocks it will create. So let's assume in each 10 block I have 10 millions kind of thing. So once you specify the blocking, the process, first of all, it will split the whole set of data into blocks, and it will take the first block. On top of this first block, it will apply the match now. Then what will happen is match functionality is first name and last name. Now, if I try to compare the duplicates, so what it will happen is, first of all, it will go and it will check what the block which you selected. So in this block I have only the 10 millions. So now earlier, without specifying the blocking, the scan is running on 100 millions of data. Now once you specify the blocking and the whole your 10 million 100 millions of data is getting split into 10 blocks, so it will take the first block, and each block it will try to run the first name and last name matching functionality. So this time it don't need to scan the whole 100 millions of records, because we already defined the blocking criteria. We already split the data into 10 blocks. So whatever the block it is taking, for example, let's assume it is taking the first block as AP state. So we have 10 millions of records. Out of this 10 millions of records only, it will try to identify the first name and last name combination. It won't go for the TS, it won't go for the other state combination, other state blocking or whatever it may be, because we all, based upon the state, we split the whole data. So 100 millions is getting split into the 10 blocks. So on each block, it will try to run the first name and last name. This time, you don't need to scan the whole 100 millions of records. So it will just scan only the 10 millions or the records which we have in that particular block. This one is clear. Blocking and the match comments.
Yeah, Gopi, is I think is blocking means is a group by we are doing
Yeah,
here,
exactly.
grouping.
Yeah.
And yeah, one more thing, as can we take as a two column like as a state and city
Yes.
for as a blocking purpose?
Yes. Yes. There is no restriction.
So
Whatever the combination you want, you can select it.
okay.
Okay.
So Gopi, if it is like 10 blocks is going to form, the 10 blocks is going to appear in the blocking column window, or it's going to happening in the background.
In the background, you cannot see anything
Okay,
here.
okay,
Everything is background. So you just need to select what kind of combination you want, what kind of combination you want in the match comments, and what is the cutoff values. That's it.
okay, sure.
Everything will
Thank
be
you.
handled at the back end. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Now you are clear about the blocking columns and match comments. Now let me tell you the cutoff values. This is also one of the important thing. Mm, match. Sorry. Okay. And now let's assume I have the match. I specified the match cutoff value as 0.9, clerical cutoff as 0.8. Let's assume these two values. Okay. Now I'm applying the matching and I'm applying the blocking. So once you apply the matching, as I told you, right, 85%, 90% is matching. We can consider it as a matched records and clerical sort of suspected records and nearest matches kind of thing. So if you want to say 85% is matching or 90% is matching or whatever it may be. So here in the match cutoff, if I specify 0.9 and clerical if I specify 0.8. So whatever the records which are the see basically once you apply the match, here itself it will calculate the weight for each and every record based upon whatever the match criteria you're applying. Okay, so let's assume, let me tell you one example so that you will get clear picture. I have one record, first name as like this, last name as like this. Sorry. And let's take address as like this. I'm just, this is a kind of dummy data I'm saying. Record 2. Okay, so this is how I'm getting the data. I have only two records, let's assume that. So the first record it is taking, so my match criteria is on the first name and last name. So it will take the first record and it will identify what is the first name and last name coming in, and the same first name and last name it will try to identify in the second set of record, but it won't look for the exact match. That is what I'm saying. What it will do is at the back end, a lot of algorithms we are going to specify. Right now, we are not discussing about the algorithms, whatever the algorithms we are going to use here. But let's assume I have specified some kind of algorithms. Based upon that, what it will do is, for example, I'm saying for first name and last name, I have applied the soundx as is my algorithm. Soundx is nothing but a kind of pronunciation, same kind of pronunciation we have for any two records. It will try to club them. Here in my scenario, let's assume I have applied the SoundX algorithm for both first name and last name. So if you compare it here, even if I like the two records, I'm getting an extra character in Gopi in the second character, and I'm missing one character in the second record in the last name. Though the pronunciation will remain same, go something, the kind of pronunciation. So once the pronunciation is same, so that is what I'm saying. I have used the soundex algorithm as a match. Let's assume that. So once I use soundex, then wherever the pronunciation is same for both the records, it will try to club them. In this case, it will try to club these two records. It will consider these two records as a matched records, because I have used the soundex algorithm, and that is the reason the pronunciation is same. It will consider these two records as a matched records, but the calculation, it will calculate the weight when we compare with these two. For example, here we have one extra character. Then while calculating the weight, it will assign different weight here. And here one character is missing. Then different weight it will assign it here. So basically in quality stage, what it will do is whatever the algorithms we are using and what type of columns we are using, based upon that, it will run some kind of algorithms at the back end to calculate the weight for each and every record. Okay. So that weights calculations and all those things we will discuss, like in tomorrow session we are going to discuss about the weights, how it is calculating the weights and all those things we will see. So for now, what it will do is it will consider these two records as a matched records because of the pronunciation is same based upon the first name and last name. And then it will calculate the weight also. For example, let's assume for this one we have the weight as 0.9, and for this one we have the weight as 0.95. Let's assume, I'm saying, because the weights calculation and all those things we will see it later. First of all, we have to understand the what is match and what is the clerical and kind of thing. So now if you have the 0.9 as for first record, 0.95 as a for the second record. Now if you compare these two, like these two values are above the match cutoff value 0.9, right? That means are equals to 0.9 or greater than 0.9. So then what will do is it will put these two records under matched records. Okay, these two records you can see in the matched records. Let's assume somehow you got 0.85 for this one. Okay, then what it will do is it will keep these two records in the clerical records. That means it is falling in between matched cutoff value and clerical cutoff value. So clerical in the sense the nearest matches. I'm saying nearest matches. So for whatever the records you are getting, the cutoff weight, the record weight is greater than 0.9. That you are confident about those records, saying that those are matched records. But somehow the weight is falling in between clerical and the matched cutoff, then you will consider them as a nearest matches. And for whatever the records you are getting greater than and sorry, less than 0.8 or whatever it may be, those records will consider it as a non-duplicate records. Total three
So you
sets.
mean to say this is the range, like
Yeah, range.
okay.
So that range again depends upon the weight calculation. That weight calculations and all those things we will see it later. First of all, once you know the difference between the match, clerical and all those things, then we will be discussing about the cutoff weights and all those things we will come to know. For now, once the
So,
calculation is done, yeah.
Gopi, I have one doubt. So it will keep only record 2 in the clerical and record 1 would be in match. I mean, how it's going to be? Because the weight for record 2 is falling between match and clerical, right?
But what
So
I'm
only the
saying,
record 2. Okay,
no,
yeah.
it won't go like that, because for these two records it will assign one group ID, because
Okay.
like these are falling under one group, right? So if it is basically the total group based upon the group, it will try to see whether it is the total group is falling under match or the total group is falling under nearest matches or kind of thing. If it splits the group, then you don't have control on that, like what is the use of the group ID then? See, these two records, one is
Okay.
going to the
Yeah.
matching, one is coming to the clerical. That is not the right way, right? Keeping one record in the
Yeah.
clerical, one record in
So
the
on the average weight, it will calculate
yeah,
that whether it's falling under match or clerical.
yeah,
Okay.
right. So it will do that. So now, I think we have discussed about the match and clerical. So match cutoff, whatever the cutoff you are specifying, for whatever the group, the cutoff weight is greater than 0.9. All those records you are confident about that, and you are saying those are all matched records. And for whatever the records you are not sure, and the range. So if you specify 0.8 and 0.9, for whatever the records you are seeing in between this weight, this range, then we will consider them as a nearest matches, we will say. So that is not a confident match, but still there might be chance, the records may match. So that is the reason why we are considering it as a nearest match. We are keeping them here in the nearest match of clerical records in terms of districts. We can say those are clerical records. That means a kind of nearest matches. And whatever the records you are getting, the cutoff weight or the weight is less than 0.8 kind of thing, then we will consider them as a non-duplicate records. Okay, this range you are clear, right? The weight calculation and all those things, it will depends upon n number of algorithms, whatever the algorithms you are going to select it, and so based upon that it will try to calculate the weights and all those things. Once the weight calculation is done, then based upon these values we are filtering it out the data. Basically we can say this is a kind of filter, like how blocking we are calling it as a group by function or kind of thing, in the similar fashion. So this one is a kind of filtering. So for whatever the records we are getting greater than 0.9, we are placing all of those records into a kind of matched records. And if you are getting the weight in between 0 and 0.9, those records you are considering it as a clerical records, and less than you are considering it as a non-duplicate records. So it's a kind of filter. Clear this one? So now you can ask me why we are separating the data kind of thing, right? So once your data is greater than 0.9 as per the rules, those are the confident matches. So there is no need of business decisions on that, whether those really matched or not kind of thing. So whatever the records falling greater than 0.9, all those records we will pass to, we will consider them as a 100% matches, and we will apply the survivorship to identify the best record out of it. So, but wherever you are seeing clerical records, like in between match and clerical, those records we are not, the system is not able to identify them as an exact matches. So that is the reason it is keeping them in the clerical matches. So basically these clerical matches we will send to the customer, or I think you guys are aware of the data stewardship kind of thing. So basically we will take the business decision on that. So they have to decide whether those records are matched records or not. So they have to take the decision on that, because the system is not able to identify them as a matched records as per the algorithms which we defined. That is clear. That is the reason why we have to separate the nearest matches, and those nearest matches we will share with the customer, and they will take the decision whether those are really matches or not matches. If those are not really matches, then what they will do is they will suggest, add one more match criteria. So once you add one more match criteria in your matching algorithm, then automatically these two records will be considered as a separate records altogether in next run. So to identify the best matching, best cutoff, best blocking, we have to run like how we are doing the investigate stage multiple times with the different sets of data. You are doing the investigation to identify the best standardization algorithm or whatever it may be, right? If you to find any kind of updates, you're just doing those updates and then you are running it kind of thing, right? So multiple times you need to run, right? In the similar fashion, if you want to identify the best blocking, best matching, best cutoff values, which are matching to your nature, like in your data, or like how we are getting. So you have to run multiple times, and then you have to decide which one is suits your data, the blocking column or match commands or cutoff values. Once you have fixed that, then that is done. Then based upon those values, it will try to separate the matched records, nearest matches and non-matched records. So always the nearest matches will go to customer decision. That might be either in the email or data stewardship. We have separate thing. Once you push the data to the data stewardship, the customer can log in directly by using his credentials, and he can see on the screen, he can see what all records are falling under one group. There itself he can adjust that, and then he can submit it. Then again the whole process will run, and the whole data will get populated in the next run or whatever it may be. Okay, so any query?
Gopal, I have one doubt. I will just, can you show me some example? Like, say, for example, we have these two records. We have two more records, and say, for example, the weight for those for the same group
Your
is, say, for
voice,
example,
I think your voice is
hello.
not, yeah, now it is clear.
Okay, so say for example, these are the two examples we took, right? Say for example, we have two more records, and for one the weight is zero point 0.6.
Mm-hmm.
Say for example,
Mm-hmm.
just write down the weight. Like say for example, we have similar record, but the weight is zero point 0.6. And then for record 4, say for example, we have the weight is 0.99 or something.
One moment.
Yeah,
What is the weight you are saying?
0.6.
Okay.
And then for record 4, I have weight 0.99. So for example, it's 0.99. So ideally my record 1 and record 4 should go in one go, and record 3 should be rejected, and 0.851 record 2 should go under clerical. So how it's going internally? Like say for example, is it keeping record 1 and record 4 in a separate place and then ignoring the record number 3 and sending the record 2 in the clerical? I mean internally how it's going, can you please brief?
See, basically, if you look at here, one moment. So, see, whatever you're seeing it here, the matched records, that means master records and clerical records, duplicate and residuals, whatever you're saying, right? So here, basically, we will club matched records and clerical records into one flow, and then you will get the master records and what I can say, the clerical records all together. You're getting? Okay.
Okay, yeah, got it. So that means for that particular group ID, it will
Yeah.
calculate based on the weight it.
Yep. Yep. One record will go, one record this one, but again at the end we are going to club these two records, right? So in one
Yeah.
single file, you are going
Okay.
to get both the matched records as well as the corresponding duplicate
Okay.
record for that. So those two you will get at the end into one single file.
Okay. And
Okay.
residual would be the 0.61. I
Yeah.
mean that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
okay.
That will
Got it.
go.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
clear that. No problem. So I think other guys are clear right about this one. So don't forget about how it is calculating. See, don't think about how it is calculating the weights and all those things that we will come to know. For example, if you are getting like this, the weights, then how it is based upon this one, how it is differentiating that you just need to know. So the calculation and the algorithms and all those things we will come to know because we are discussing about only the options which we have available in the match specification window. Once you're clear about the importance of each and everything, then the internal depth, like how it is calculating, what algorithms we have and all those things, we will see it later. So for now you understand the range, right? So whatever the records falling greater than 0.9, those records will go to as a kind of matched records, and between these two we'll consider it as a nearest matches, and less than this one we'll consider it as a non-duplicate records. Okay, so whatever the other properties we have, those we will discuss tomorrow session, like in whatever we have on the window, and then we will start with one small example how we can specify the match specification and all those things. Yeah, Gopal. Hello.
I think he's typing.
Okay. Okay, so if any other guys like you guys have any queries in today's session, then you can guys ask me. Otherwise, like we can stop it for today, and tomorrow we will discuss about the next properties whatever we have, and then we will take some small example and we will execute it and we'll see how the results are getting populated, and we will discuss about the report and all those things so that you guys can get better idea like how the matching is working.